Hey guys, welcome again to Trials Platinum Guides by Dr. Zleek here. Today we're going over Overpass action. This is my third attempt at making a video for this. Hopefully today will work better than it has been. So let's take a look, shall we? First, I always recommend the Phoenix Evo for these hard tracks, especially the second set of hard tracks. Very rarely will the Scorpion be used on anything above a medium track. A note, you will have to be able to use the Banshee to beat this track if you want to get the Tough as Nails achievement. I believe it is for beating, or Scream of the Banshee achievement for beating Tough as Nails tournament with the Banshee with 0 faults. So, but we're not doing that today. So we're going to start off on this first ramp. It is going to be pretty easy. There's two ways you can do this. The first is which I like to do, or I have done. It is you get your bike basically just barely over this ramp and then almost restart and then push onto the next ramp. So what you do is you lean back and then you push into this ramp as you come up it. That way your bike kind of barely makes over that hop, and then as you come up to the second ramp, you push into it to get that little boost of speed from the suspension. The other way to do it is you will try to bunny hop up here and then hop on the pipe, and then I'll get you to the next checkpoint as well. I don't like doing that just because it is a little bit more of a pain to do, and if you don't hit it just right, you'll crash. It takes up a lot of attempts. The surefire way to get there is just to use that first ramp. It saves you about maybe a few tenths of a second if you do that pipe hop. So it's just easier just to kind of, I'll review, go back and then push back in, reset the bottom, and then push into this jump, and then boom, we're at the next checkpoint. From here, you'll want to either use your momentum, highly preferable, and just kind of, as always with the ramps, you'll push back, push into it as that back tires get to the bottom. You'll want to land somewhere near the bottom of this ramp. Try to have your back tire land right above this little cross eye bar that's going down there. And then for most inclines, this one's got a little steep ledge at the top, so we will be leaning back until that back tire is about to get over that brick, and then lean forward. The leaning forward should help push your bike over, and then once your tire hits, that'll give you a little extra little push to get over that brick. So if you can, you'll want to land down here like so, and then you'll use momentum to go to the next jump. If you can't, just try to avoid spending too much time on this board and just kind of barely push yourself off. You want to land as far, at the minimal land before that board ramp starts, but you want to land on this downward thing, because if you do land while moving, that suspension push as it comes down, so it will push off a little extra speed and push you up this ramp. Through this jump, you don't need to hold to the back, but you want to be leaning back, just full speed. At this wooden ramp, don't try to land on it. What you want to do actually is just hold back and then use that back tire to kind of push off of that ramp. It's like right here. You can do a bunny hop, which will kind of give you an extra jump with the suspension. You'll see the tire kind of compress and then uncompress, I guess, and that'll kind of push you up here. And then, as with inclines, as always, land on the back tire, pushing into the front tire. If you just give it a little squeeze of gas, it should be plenty enough to just pop right up here. So let's say it again. So there's a little hop, land, just let go of the gas, and then you'll land up here. For full speed, you'll want to just keep gassing, keep as much momentum going into this jump as possible. You really don't need that much. So like I think in my video, I just kind of like to land up here on the back tire and then just kind of scoot off of it, which is just fine. So making that jump is pretty easy. This looks terribly daunting, but it really is not that hard. This is similar to Dark City Run, where you can do this whole trick I learned from it was either Ridley's forums or the Extra 68 back when I was still trying to beat this track. And if you line up with your front tire at the base of this jump, lean all the way forward. As you go up, lean back, and as that back tire hits where your front tire just was, you'll lean back forward, and that should just give you plenty of space to vault up here. The other option is just to hold back, and then just push forward as your back tire hits there. You really do not need that much speed to make it up. Like if I do this full throttle, I'll just get way too much air, and that just wastes a ton of time. So if you just gas and you let go of it like around like right there as you're going up the ramp, that should be just plenty enough to just kind of push up and hop over and land right on the next checkpoint. From here, this is a bit of a vertical jump, but it is kind of short, so you just want to get your chassis to hit right there. The chassis, by the way, is where the engine block on the bike is. If you can nail right on your chassis, I believe that's what it's called. I watched, not a big motorcycle guy, but you know, American choppers is always a good thing. Anyways, what you want to do is you want to lean back, bring that front tire up. If you just full gas, that should be plenty enough to bring that tire up. And then as your chassis hits that kind of corner, if you just lean forward, your bike should just pivot right over it. It's pretty simple. Once you do that, as soon as that back tire is coming up, you want to lean back, which will swing that back tire down, which will give you traction, and you'll just hop on the next jump. So, I mean, obviously some of these I'm going like way up here, and then some of the, like if I do it actual speed, you can see how I kind of lean back almost immediately. If you do lean back, you can see the bike lunge a little bit forward, which if you're holding gas would give your bike immediate traction, which will just let you push off right up here. From this jump, if you can land leaning forward, that's good, because what happens if you land into a jump leaning forward, that means the suspension on the front tire will push in. And so when you lean back with the gassing, you'll get even faster lift, so you'll need less of an effort to get up that ramp. You'll see that in some of my videos where you lean into a jump landing. That way when you lean back, you get a little bit more lift or air on that. So from here, this is similar to what we had earlier, to where you're going to lean back, get that front tire up and over that barrel, lean forward to kind of get your back tire up, and then just lean back into that back tire to get some traction. And then there's two ways of really doing this. You can either go for the full speed, like up and over, like that, or you can try to get that back tire to kind of land on that barrel, and that'll kick you off to this next checkpoint here. So it's really not too difficult. Oh, and by the way, there's a squirrel right here. If you bail out over that light pole and land, that car will stop and give you the squirrel, just for a heads up. That's not what we're here for. What am I talking about that for? Anyways, so from here, there's two ways of doing this. I developed kind of I shouldn't say I developed, but I like to use the jump and backflip, because that'll push you back further and clear you from this board. Because if you just try to fall, you can make it some of the times like that. I just bashed my face, and I don't know how I landed that. But a lot of times, I found if I tried to do this, I would bounce too far forward and either crash like that, or my bike would just land crooked. If you can manage to do that, there's a way to get over that, and I'm pretty sure that's how the #1 video guy does it, but I don't like doing that. So what I like to do personally is I will bunny hop, land. I do use gas to get my bike to flip over a little faster. If you use gas on this back wall, it will scoot you down the wall a bit faster, but it is sometimes a little more complicated to be able to balance yourself so you land not facing directly down like that. If you lean forward, once that back tire hits, it should kind of auto-correct your bike. You don't want to hit it too fast, because your body will morph into your bike, which is an automatic crash, which is never good. Anyways, once we get that figured out, we'll land down here. This is kind of similar to earlier. You'll want to lean forward as you're going towards approaching the ramp, lean back as you're nearing the middle of the ramp, and lean back forward once you begin to go up the ramp. That should give you plenty of lift and forward momentum to clear this next jump. You can go full speed. I don't like going full speed just because I think it wastes time in the air, as well as making it more of a possibility to crash. One thing you can do if you're struggling with horizontal distance on this jump is try to either have it so you're leaning forward almost the entire time as you're going up this jump. It requires you to get your back tire in air quite early, and try to have your back of your bike hit that board, because that'll kind of stop your vertical movement and focus more on horizontal momentum. Another way to do it is if on the way down you happen to hit, like right there, my front tire hit. It's kind of hard to tell this fast of speed. If you hit this obstacle with a front or back tire, the suspension on the tire should give you a little push or bounce, which will give you, I'm trying to do it again here, like, I don't know, if you basically just try to push off of this pipe, like almost like that, except for further down, that should give you the extra distance. A front flip is almost always recommended for this part, just to make sure A, you clear it, and B, you can actually get a little bit further by doing so like that. From this jump, you don't want to over jump it, you want to land on this board, obviously. I think in my replay I landed right at the end, so I did brake. Fortunately, I bounced almost straight up, so I knew my momentum would be fixed, and both my tires would land at the same time. This jump really isn't too hard. you'll just want to line up near the back of this board. Just always remember that they designed these checkpoints to make it so you can progress to the next checkpoint starting neutral from this checkpoint. So from here, if we start like right here, you just want to do a basic bunny hop like that and you land. And then you want to keep your momentum and bunny hop again. If you can keep your speed, like right there, I didn't bunny hop. It just depends on how fast you're going. Like if you know you're not going to make it without hopping, you want to hop. Avoid landing on that lower section because all you're going to do is just eat up time down here. And then from this next checkpoint, I will show you. I'll kind of scoot up here so I can tell you. That barrel, you can reach that barrel from down here if you have enough speed. So let's see if I can do that for you. Because this will definitely save you a few seconds. And then boom. Like that was even full speed and I still made it. So if you can't do that from here, it's the same thing where if you want to land and then lean back and pull up, if you push forward, you can land up here. I mean, this really isn't that difficult. If you're having trouble with this, good luck with the rest of the track is all I'm saying. Anyways, once we get up here, you want to land up with your back tire either near the bottom of this wooden ramp or on the barrel or something like that. You want to lean back and then bunny hop, of course, as you're getting to the edge of this jump. I mean, it's not terribly difficult to make it this pipe. It's all about speed, really. If you can land your front tire in the air, your back tire hit first. Like, I'll try to do this again. Like, this is even just without adjusting my height or positioning on the bike, if I can redo it. Basically, if you land on your back tire, your momentum will just keep you going and rotate your front tire over the edge of that, like so. Plus, if you had the fact where if you lean forward, that should give you enough momentum to kind of hop or push over that pipe, like so. And even then, like on that one, my front tire isn't really even hitting the pipe, so I'm just kind of pushing off the gas and then flipping over. If you can, I'd recommend instead of hitting that wooden ramp down there, I would recommend trying to push off like that and land on this flat surface. If you land down here, it's not that big of a deal. It can just be kind of hard for some people. Like I've had some attempts where I'll try to do that, and obviously you're not going to make it. So you want to land on this flat platform, and then from here, this jump is honestly the hardest part I think of the track for me. I got lucky a few times when I was nailing this, and basically the key is you want to have your back tire kind of catch on that ledge, so the momentum is enough to carry you onto the pipe, but also slow enough to where you can stop practically at the bottom of this pipe, like right there. So just kind of a bunny hop. If you start from checkpoint, so if you're around, if you can see this big line going down the cement block, if you line up from around there and then bunny hop, that should be enough to where you can make it most of the time. It's really just trial and error, so I recommend if you cannot platinum this track and if you're struggling, a lot of people, like I know especially when I was trying to do a track, I would just consistently, all I would do is hit restart, so I get like 2 checkpoints in, restart, 3 checkpoints in, restart. I would never get to the very end, so whenever I did, I'd be like, well, what the hell am I doing? So I would do almost like I'm doing right now, and just go through the entire track and just practice each obstacle, you know, 15, 20 times or 100 times or however many times you need just to get it down. That way when you do finally get down here, you can just do it without even worrying about it. Because if you don't even make it, you're like, oh, holy shit, what am I doing? And it can be a little overwhelming. At least for me anyways. I don't know if that's the same for anyone else. Anyways, so we want to land down here. That's more of a lesson for just general trials, but we want to land down here. This is similar to the jump we had earlier, but it's a lot less steep. So there's 2 ways to do this. You can either be leaning back and then push into it, and just again, you just want to. Oops, I made it. You just want to. Now I can't show you. You won't want to gas the entire way up. If you stop gassing like around here or so, you should just kind of enough to kind of lift up and over that jump. The other way to do it is if you can make this. So let's try to reposition myself. If you're landing right here, if you can't make it full swing, you can kind of slowly grip. I think in my video I just kind of creep on up here. Once you're about halfway up, or like if you're up here and you're still creeping, if you just floor it, you'll be able to make this hop. I mean, no problem. So there's a couple ways to do that. It's really not that difficult. It looks really difficult from far away, but it's pretty shallow of an angle, and if you can handle the Phoenix, you're okay. So finally, the last checkpoint. For this, it's really not too hard. This should be kind of an easy home stretch victory lap thing for you. So you just want to lean back. As that front tire comes up and over that board, what you want to do is just push forward. You can see the suspension on the back tire will push in and then out and give that little hop. If you also lean forward, you'll have momentum. I recommend doing a front flip just so you can get to the ground a little bit faster, and I mean, it's pretty hard to mess it up. I mean, unlike like I just did. But if you can do the back flip, it's pretty easy just to kind of get halfway through this jump, lean back, your back tire should land right there. You'll push your head up and over that finish line, and then there you go. So that's the walkthrough. Let's go ahead and take a look at the replay now. The slow motion replay, of course. And I think I did get platinum by maybe a second or two ahead of the time. Most of my times right now, they aren't really, they're not really my best times. They're just kind of like, okay, I got platinum on to the next one. I've really gone through and replayed most of these to get a better time. So as you can see, I just kind of push up and over this first jump. So this part I kind of did on accident, but I was kind of fed up with this track at this point. It's a really fun track, but this was like maybe my I was probably like an hour into trying this, and so I just kind of did this the full round and it ended up working. So I don't recommend you try doing this, but it ended up working out for me. You'll see me lean back at the bottom of this jump, push into it. This is me doing the wheelie, pushing off of it. You'll see the bike pop up a little bit. Land, I just push up a little bit of gas. My back tire catches, pushes me up here. I lean forward. So this is the part I was talking about where I lean into a jump. That way when I pull back, my back tire comes up a little bit better. So I'm leaning back, my back tire comes up, I lean forward. It's really hard to catch even in the slow motion right there. Again, you can see me lean a little bit forward. You can see how my tire's really compressed. The front one is really close to my bike, and then when I come back, it pushes off really well. I immediately lean back, my back tire catches. I barely make this jump, but thankfully I do. Again, I was leaning forward. Both my tires are extremely compressed, which gave me a little hop right here without much of adjustment of my positioning. I kinda mess up a little bit here, but I end up making it just fine. This is where I do the push. I don't end up doing a backflip because I don't have enough speed. I just land in this. I'm leaning forward, backward, forward again. I think my front tire catches a little bit there, which gives me a little edge. Right here I do tap my brakes. I jump almost directly up, so I'm like, okay, I know this is going to be fine. So you can almost see me immediately start gassing as soon as my tire's in the air. I do a bunny hop. It's a little bit of a short bunny hop, but it's okay because I barely make it. I don't even bunny hop here. I do push in with my front tire again a little bit. And that gives me a little extra lift right here. I kind of catch a little bit right here, but I just decide to kind of move forward. That bunny hop was a little bit shallow, so I probably shouldn't have made this jump, but somehow I managed to pull it off. I landed right about where that line is. I'm just gassing it up. Back tire catches right there. I kind of reposition myself. So on this one I did adjust on the fly as opposed to fully readjusting. As you can see, I just kind of creeped up here, push into that jump a little bit early, but I still ended up making it. I catch a little bit on the end. My back tire does lose traction, so I could have crashed potentially, but I didn't, so I ended up making platinum time. And let's watch that again full speed. And always, like I said, these are, like, I've been doing trials. I have over 6 days of game time now, I think, and it's all about practice and just being able to keep at it. You just don't go into a track, do it once, oh, I'm done, okay. Well, I mean, you can, if it's easy enough, you can, but most of the time, especially the hard tracks. This was maybe the 4th to last one I did, just because I was working on the first set a lot more. Dome of Doom was the first one I got, just because I thought that was going to be a pain in the ass, so I did that one first, even though it was actually pretty easy in the long run. Anyways, yeah, I mean, this is a pretty basic run. I do have a little bit of flubs, and like right here, I mean, in some parts I could keep my speed a lot higher than I did, but it all worked out in the end. So hopefully this will all work out in the end for you. It'll help you with your platinum time. As always, like, comment, subscribe. Just let me know what you want to see in the next video, or just general feedback or anything you really want. So good luck, guys.